Parlons Français Ensemble.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take, well, usually a stack of information, but today it's a really practical language lesson, and we distill it right down for you. Today we're taking a bit of a linguistic trip, specifically to France. We're focusing on a place you'll almost certainly visit if you're there for any length of time, La Poste, the post office.
Right, the post office, a classic.
Exactly. We're diving into material from teacher Philippe and his Parlons Français Ensemble podcast. It's all about learning French, step by step.
And it's really well done.
It is. So our mission today, to give you the essential vocabulary, walk you through a practical dialogue, and highlight one really crucial polite phrase. Basically everything you need to confidently send a letter or package in France. Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, and what's so interesting, I think, is how just a few key phrases can suddenly make a common, sometimes slightly daunting real-world situation feel manageable. It's not just grammar drills, is it? It's about actually navigating daily life, feeling a bit more clued in, even when you're in a foreign country. It kind of makes you wonder, how much insight can you actually get from just one everyday interaction?
That's such a good point. It's those little wins, isn't it? They build confidence. So, okay, let's start with that foundational vocabulary.
Sure.
These are the absolute building blocks for our trip to La Poste.
Okay.
First up, the word for a letter. That is une lettre. Let me say that again slowly. Une lettre.
A straightforward one to start. And, like in English, lettre can also mean a letter of the alphabet. So context, as always, is important.
Good point. And if you're sending something bigger, a parcel or a package, you use the word un colis. Again, a colis.
Right. Lettre, colis, the basic nouns you need for what you're actually handling there. Pretty essential.
Definitely. Then you obviously need a stamp. For a stamp, the word is un timbre. One more time. Un timbre.
Yeah, and some of these words, like lettre or even tom, they might sound a little familiar to English speakers, which can be helpful.
Right. Makes it feel a bit less daunting.
It does, sort of bridges that gap.
Okay, now for the actions, what you actually do there. To send something, the verb is envoyer, slowly. Envoyer. And the opposite, naturally, to receive, is recevoir. Again, recevoir.
Send and receive. Good to know both sides of that coin, depending on why you're there.
Exactly. Now back to physical items. For an envelope, you say une enveloppe, slowly. Une enveloppe. This one looks quite similar to English, actually.
It does, yeah. Helpful visual cue.
And then something you might encounter anywhere, there's a service counter, the waiting line. In French, that's la file d'attente. Let's try that slowly. La file d'attente.
La file d'attente, that's a universal experience, isn't it? Knowing that word just grounds you in the reality of, well, waiting anywhere. It's practical.
Very practical. And finally, the place where the interaction happens, the counter. That's le guichet. Slowly again, le guichet.
Le guichet? Yeah. The source defines it as le petit comptoir où l'on parle avec un employé. The small counter where you speak with an employee. It's that specific spot. So knowing that word is key.
Okay, great. Now we have the building blocks. Let's see how they work together in a typical conversation. Picture this. You're at the post office, you've navigated la file d'attente, and you step up to le guichet.
Right. Putting it into practice.
The client starts. They say, Bonjour, je voudrais envoyer cette lettre en Allemagne. Let me repeat that. Bonjour, je voudrais envoyer cette lettre en Allemagne, which just means, hello, I would like to send this letter to Germany.
And notice how polite that is, right from the start. Bonjour. That simple hello is so important in France for setting a respectful tone.
Absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
Okay, then the employee replies, Très bien, avez-vous déjà mis un timbre? Slowly. Très bien, avez-vous déjà mis un timbre? Meaning, very well, have you already put a stamp?
And très bien, you hear that a lot from service staff. It's not necessarily, that's wonderful. It's more like a calm, okay, understood, moving on. Efficient and polite.
Good distinction. Okay, the client then says, Non, pas encore. Again, non, pas encore. No, not yet.
Pas encore, not yet. That's super useful. You can use that in so many situations, not just at the post office. It implies something hasn't happened, but maybe it needs to.
Right. So the employee informs them, alors il faut acheter un timbre international, c'est 1,8 €. Slowly. Alors il faut acheter un timbre international, c'est 1,4 €. Then you must buy an international stamp, it's 1,8 €. Straightforward enough. Clear instruction.
The client agrees and has another request. D'accord. Et je voudrais aussi envoyer ce colis. Again. D'accord. Et je voudrais aussi envoyer ce colis. Okay. And I would also like to send this parcel.
You see how that flows. The greeting, the request, dealing with the stamp, adding another item. It covers a lot of the typical interaction very naturally.
It does. And finally, the employee responds, Pas de problème. Remplissez ce formulaire, s'il vous plaît. No problem. Fill out this form, please.
Pas de problème. Another common reassuring phrase. Now, there was one phrase in that dialogue that really stands out. It's kind of a game changer for being polite in French. It's je voudrais. Let me say it again. Je voudrais.
Yeah.
It literally means I would like, and the source material explicitly points out it's très poli, plus doux que je veux. Very polite, much softer than just saying I want.
Oh, absolutely. If you zoom out a bit, this phrase is just gold. It's not just for La Poste. It's really fundamental for polite requests in pretty much any service context.
Like where else?
Well, restaurants, shops, asking for directions, you name it. Mastering je voudrais instantly makes your French sound more courteous, more, well, French. It moves you from sounding potentially blunt to perfectly polite.
It really is that effective. Think about these examples, also from the source. Je voudrais un timbre, s'il vous plaît. Slowly. Je voudrais un timbre, s'il vous plaît. I would like a stamp, please.
Yeah, simple.
Or, je voudrais envoyer un colis. Again, je voudrais envoyer un colis. I would like to send a parcel. See, it just slots right in. It's that difference between demanding and requesting politely.
Exactly, and that politeness really matters in French culture. It's a subtle thing, maybe, but it shows respect. Using je voudrais is basically a shortcut to making a good impression while getting what you need. It's less about what you say and more about how you say it.
That's a great way to put it. So, we've talked about sending mail, but La Poste in France, it does a lot more, doesn't it? I remember being surprised seeing banking services offered there.
Right. It's more than just stamps and parcels.
Definitely. The source material gives us a little clin d'œil culturel here. Let me try that. Clin d'œil culturel means a sort of cultural wink or nod.
Nice.
And it mentions that La Poste is présent dans presque toutes les villes et villages.
Slowly.
Présent dans presque toutes les villes et villages, meaning it's present in almost all towns and villages. So what does that ubiquity actually mean for daily life there?
Well, it points to something quite fundamental about French public services, I think. This wide range of functions isn't just for convenience. It sort of reflects this French value placed on having accessible, universal public services.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah. Historically, institutions like the Postal Service were key to connecting communities, especially in more rural areas. And while other countries might have privatized or limited their postal services, the Post often expanded its role. It shows a kind of commitment to ensuring basic needs are met everywhere, which helps build that community infrastructure.
That makes sense. It feels like a real hub. So, besides the obvious mail stuff, what else might you actually do at La Poste?
Right, so it's still very relevant today. You can, of course, send your letters and parcels, but you can also, as the source says, payer des factures. That's payer des factures, pay bill.
The utility bills and such.
Exactly. And even, as you mentioned, ouvrir un compte bancaire. Again, ouvrir un compte bancaire, open a bank account. La Banque Postale is a major bank. So it really is a central point in many communities, especially smaller towns, maybe lacking other facilities. The source also notes that they have automates pour affranchir soi-même une lettre ou un colis. Let me repeat that mouthful. Automates pour affranchir soi-même une lettre ou un colis, basically self-service machines for stamps and postage.
Ah, so embracing modern tech, too.
Exactly. It shows they adapt, blending the traditional services with modern efficiency, but still keeping that core role as a community pillar.
Okay, fantastic. So to help all this sink in, let's try a quick petit exercice. That's petit exercice, a small exercise, just a quick mental check for you listening.
Good idea.
All right, first one. How would you say in French, I would like to send a parcel to Italy? Take a moment. Short pause. Got it. The answer is, je voudrais envoyer un colis en Italie. Let me say that again. Je voudrais envoyer un colis en Italie. How did you do using it, that key phrase, je voudrais?
Yeah, this kind of quick practice just shows how combining a few bits of vocabulary with that crucial polite phrase really empowers you. That's the aha moment, isn't it? Seeing it work.
Definitely. Okay, one more. How would you say, where is the post office, please? Think about it. Short pause. Ready. The answer is, où est la poste, s'il vous plaît? One more time. Où est la poste, s'il vous plaît? Adding that, s'il vous plaît, please, is always a good touch.
Absolutely. Essential politeness.
Okay,
And these phrases, they're immediately usable, aren't they? They turn what could be a moment of hesitation into a confident interaction. It shows how targeted learning can make a big practical difference.
And just like that, we've done our deep dive into navigating the French post office. You've got the keywords, you've seen a typical dialogue, you've mastered the super polite and useful je voudrais, and you've even got a sense of the wider role a post plays in France. You really do now have a shortcut to feeling prepared for a very common situation there. It's about getting that practical knowledge quickly, but also thoroughly.
And this whole exploration of something as seemingly simple as the post office, it reveals something deeper, I think. It shows that real understanding often comes from looking closely at the everyday stuff.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder what other mundane parts of life in another culture hold these kinds of valuable insights as practical knowledge if we just take the time to really look. Maybe fluency isn't just about grand concepts, but about mastering these small daily interactions.
That's a wonderful thought to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep that curiosity going, and we look forward to helping you unpack more insights in our next exploration.